heard you were coming. What's your name, my brother?
Cecil Gaines.
Cecil Gaines.
That ain't funny.
Well, I'm Carter Wilson, the head butler. Don't worry about Big Mo behind you. That brother steal your wallet before you even knew it. This brother in the mirror over here, his name's James Holloway. He's my second in command.
So were there any culinary skills you guys picked up in the kitchen while doing the butler?
No.
They tried to teach us how to make pastry, but
and you saw how that scene ended up.
That didn't go very well.
How about balancing plates?
Yeah, it was a lot of balancing tricks, certain things you do with your hands, your fingers. Because the one thing that I noticed is when you present something to someone, if you're not ready for them to take it, it shifts their weight, and then that would be disastrous.
And I feel like when you guys were on camera, you could just tell that there was chemistry there. You know, what was the funnest scene to film from The Butler?
Every single scene. All of them were fun, except the cemetery.
The cemetery, yeah.
That was a hot day.
The one in the house with the parrot.
Yeah, that might have been the funnest.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was
that was
maybe that was the funnest because of the music was going and the parrot was yapping and.
Whose idea was the parrot too?
Lee Daniels.
Lee got the parrot, and I think he just wanted the parrot to be scenery. I don't think he realized that the parrot was going to start talking as much as he did.
Yeah.
So the parrot became
a problem.
Part of the dialogue.
You know, I guess with everything coming out now, like with Fruitvale Station and 42 and Django Unchained, what do you think The Butler adds to the conversation?
Well, I think a lot. I think, the movie makes an epic statement that it can be arguably said that the civil rights movement is American history, and that it expands from slavery all the way up into President Obama's inauguration. No, it's funny, there is a certain disconnect with young people today and what went down with during the civil rights movement and all the players, not just the Martin Luther Kings and the JFKs, but the Abernathys and the, just everybody that was fought and died during the Freedom Ride, and not just Black Americans, but white Americans, and I think there's a nice juxtaposition of methods and how to deal with the black male and his expression raging against this whole idea of racism. Are you passive and accessible to whites, or are you militant and aggressive? And I think the movie doesn't make one statement, it makes both and lays it out on a platter for us to make our own cognitive ideas and thoughts about it. So I think this is an epic tale done masterly well, and at the same time a beautiful story of family and love.
Lenny, how would you get kids to watch this movie, given, with everything that went on with Trayvon Martin, and asking questions and not knowing so much about civil rights history?
I'd say, well, that's the thing. I would say that it's important for them to see this film. I mean, this film should be played in schools. I mean, I feel like, kids need to see this movie. Mm-hmm. They need to understand their history, how we got from A to B, and also how we're gonna get from B to C. We're not there yet. We've come a long way, and that is beautiful, but we still have a long way to go until we actually reach that dream that Martin Luther King speaks about. On the surface, it all looks like it's kind of there, but there's a lot going on underneath that needs to be wrestled with.